Welcome once again here on the Regional Radio Sports Network. I am Paul Condry, president and founder of the Regional Radio Sports Network. Bethel University Men's Volleyball Media Day. Great that you've hopped along with us here today, here on Regional Radio Sports and the Bethel Sports Network. Special thanks to Tanner Camp as well as Luke Schrock for their great help here today. We're talking men's volleyball here today from left to right, respectively. Got some guys who know a lot more about this game, certainly than I do. Ben Ritzema, hey, you've heard his voice on Regional Radio Sports. We're glad to have Ben back with us here. Also, Erik Malek and Arthur Barreto are guys here today. Gentlemen, first of all, let's start right from the get-go. Ben, starting with you, you're back for another go-around. Year number 2, Bethel men's volleyball. What's different this year compared to last year?
The first thing I would probably say is one of the first practices we had back, and it wasn't even a practice, it was an open gym, just because Coach couldn't practice with us yet, so a bunch of guys came to the gym. And instantly you just noticed a difference in the amount of drive and passion. When you have that second-year program as opposed to the first year, sometimes the first year has a couple guys that were just looking to play volleyball for fun. Second year, Coach goes out, gets a lot more guys. A lot of people are here because this is the sport that they love, and this is what they want to do with them, with their lives and themselves. So that very first open gym was one of the most competitive, energetic gyms I've been in the past couple of years. And so immediately the first thing back that you could notice was just the drive and just the unity of the team for one goal, and that's to win and get better at volleyball. So that was pretty awesome to see.
Erik, I want you to ask you the same question. What was different from last year's first go-around to this year's?
Probably I would say to not repeat what Ben said. I agree with that totally. But another thing that I've noticed is that when guys coming in, they see kind of a layout. They see a culture that we already established in some ways, and they see how things are done at Bethel, which was different in our first year. We came in and there was no way that things were done. Everybody was doing things differently, and that collided sometimes, you know. We had different personalities, different cultures, different everything, and we had to establish a culture. And this year the big difference actually, which makes a big difference, people might know, oh, it's all about talent, but it's not. It's when you have established culture that brings you a lot of steps ahead.
Arthur, how about you? Same question. What was different from a year ago to this year?
I think the first thing that I would say is that we have a lot of more talent in the team, and we have a lot, like Ben said, we have people that actually love the game and want to be there and are really, really happy to be here. So I feel like Erik was saying, we're establishing a culture in this program that I am very, very happy about and just truly excited to see what we got.
So Ben's going to ask Paul Condry the same question since I was here a year ago. So Ben, as one of our broadcast team members, go ahead and ask that question to me now.
What are you excited about for this season as opposed to last season?
Well, I'm excited about multiple things. Number one, to see you guys play again. It was my first time. It was my first go-around seeing men's volleyball after doing the women's game for many, many years. I'm excited to hear the tones in your voices. For you guys who didn't grow up here in the States, your English is improved 100%. And I'm excited about that. I mean, we can carry on a little bit, I think, more unique conversations moving forward. I'm excited to see you guys smile and being back because you're here for a reason, that the culture that Erik has created. He said he's gotten rid of the guys who are not going to fit into what the team is going to do. I made a perfect case in point in talking with Erik just a moment ago. Benson may not play as much as he did last year because there's more talented guys on this team. Isn't that safe to say that?
A lot more talented guys, yeah.
And I know to me, it's like, wow, this is the kind of teammate that you want to have on your team. I can tell you as a guy, our business is 35 years old. I would take I'd take one Ben over 1,000 other guys because he cares more about the team than he cares about what's happening to himself. And to me, that's the kind of culture that Erik is trying to create here, and I think that's an exciting thing. From a sportscaster's perspective, I never dreamed that this sport was as powerful and dynamic as it was to sit. And, you know, I tell you what, I think I need to wear a helmet some of the times because when I'm doing the women's games, I'm up in the crow's nest up there. You guys have seen me up there, and so the dynamic is different. But when you're three rows away from the court, man, you got to keep your eyes on. You can't look down for anything. You're going to get your head knocked off. So Ben, did I answer your question?
Yeah, that was good.
Was
I
that good?
appreciate it. Yeah,
okay.
That was great.
All right, so let's talk about just culture and establishing the culture. And as captains, as a captain, your responsibility is to keep the locker room tight, keep the locker room communication open. There are so many things, and I remember when I was coaching back in, well, long before probably before your parents were even born. Culture is the most important thing to having success. And if the captains can't keep the culture together, the team is going to fall apart. So, Ben, I'm going to start again with you. Talk about creating the culture that Erik has and making sure that you are the mouthpiece of the coach when you're in the locker room when he is not in the locker room.
Yeah. Coach Snyder sets a great example and a great level for us to follow after and a good path. And he's very clear with what he wants. And so it is very easy to follow after the culture that he's looking for. So there's times in the locker rooms, where we as captains, we have to say stuff that people aren't always going to agree with. We're not going to be everyone's best friends. You got to be real. And Coach Snyder is definitely real. And so that forces us to be real and have real conversations because we're adults. We're in college. We're playing a college sport, and we need to be able to handle things like adults. So sometimes you got to be real, and that doesn't always make friends. So that's kind of what we got to go at it as, just if something's going to benefit the team as opposed to one person, sometimes you just got to, give people the truth. And that's what we got to do as captains. We got to be real, and but we also have to be supportive, and we have to be that glue,
Erik, I know that you came with Coach Snyder from Campbellsville, so you really like him. You really believe in what he's trying to establish. So you literally put your money where your mouth with moving from Kentucky with him to Northern Indiana. So let's just talk about being selected a captain and how you perceive your role as being a captain.
First off, I would say you can see the love I have for Coach Snyder. He's going to see it because I moved from the southern warm weather into the coldy, snowy, negative Fahrenheit weather. No, but jokes aside, I think the culture that we've established or that we are still establishing, it's an ongoing process, I think, that still has to keep going, is way better than last year because we're more able to have and lead the uncomfortable conversations, I would say. Conversations that you don't like to have in the locker room, like you said. Conversations where issues in between teammates happen, and you're the one who has to speak up, You can't run to coach with every little issue that you have. You got to sometimes, keep things in the team and try to solve it because he has so much other things to worry about. And that's what we learned as captains, that we always got to have an eye out on our teammates and how they're doing, how they're interacting with each other, if everything is going well. And I think we did a better job this year. But it also takes time, We got to know the personalities. We got to know the players that we got around. And I think Coach Snyder, like Ben said, set a good example on how that looks and how we're supposed to do this and follow it. Because I think the most important thing is that we as captains, we are not something different. We represent just a bridge that players can lead to. And we got to be a space where they always can come to. And we got to be a bridge to the coaching staff. I think that's the main thing that we got to do this year.
All right, Arthur, same question for you about being a captain. Are you honored? Are you excited about the opportunity? And how do you perceive your role as a captain?
Definitely. I am very excited and very honored to been put in this role. And like both of these guys were saying, we're still establishing the culture. But I feel like from last year to this year, we've grown a lot. And we understand what is put to us and what is expected of us. And, yeah, I think just like any other family, we go through issues. We have to help each other. And especially when we have 10 more guys in the team that just came in, we have to make them understand what is asked of them and what is Bethel all about. So, yeah, trying to make the best out of what we have and, yeah, establishing that culture.
Erik, I'm going to stay with you now. And there are 9 different countries represented on this roster. And you talked about 10 new guys. Some of the guys who didn't fit in are not here, and that's probably a good thing. But you've got 10 new guys that are going to try to fit into what you guys have established and have a year underneath your belt. So when you and obviously for you guys, it's such a unique experience for you and Eric, because you guys had to leave your home countries to come here to be a part of this. And why would somebody come from Cyprus or Liechtenstein to Mishawaka, Indiana, and right now it's it's 4 degrees out when I arrived here today. I mean, that's not the most prettiest thing that you want to do, but it's about opportunity, it's about culture, it's about growing. So talk about the allure of those guys, those 10 new guys coming in, and wow, 9 different countries. That's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, it's a really cool experience to be able to have these guys in the team and to talk to them about their culture and about their childhood, what they've been through. It's just, you grow. I can say for myself, I've learned a lot from these guys, and it's just really cool to be around them, and Liechtenstein, I mean, I didn't even know that existed.
Exactly.
And Cyprus, it's just awesome. It's really cool. Really cool. Yeah.
Eric, what do you think? I mean, I'm sure you guys were involved in conversations with the new guys. I mean, why do you want to come to Northern Indiana? I mean, you had to be. Some of those guys had to reach out at some point in time and say, "Hey, listen, this is what I think. This is what we're trying to do." What's your take?
I can definitely speak for the guys coming in from Europe, because I'm myself from Europe, from Germany, and the main difference that the U.S. has to offer is this connection between college and athletics that just doesn't exist. Like in Europe, those are 2 different things, and if you want to pursue both, those are the people, the top elite. Those are like a very small percentage of people that are making this route and making that path. And I think it gives us the opportunity to experience that and also have a unique life experience. Besides the volleyball is like the main part. We're here and it's awesome. But besides the volleyball, if you look at the personal growth you experience here in the States, the different cultures, like you said, it's not even that we're all around people from the States. Yeah, those are the most people, but we still got other people from other cultures and countries, and we get to know them and how they are and how life is for them. I think when you always stay in the same city, the world seems so small, but once you leave your country or your city or your state, even for the people from the States, once you leave your state, you see the world from a different angle, and that makes you a better and also a better understanding person in life.
Ben, do you feel that, we mentioned before, 9 different countries. Do you feel like that you've been around the world and yet not ever left Indiana because you're around these guys? You listen to their talk about food, music, parents growing up, educational opportunities, athletic opportunities. I mean, you played a lot of sports. You've had a lot of experiences for a kid here in Northern Indiana, but now you brought in all these new guys and on this team, and now you're hearing all their experiences. You feel like you've been a worldwide traveler now?
I mean, it's something. I was roommates with Arthur last year, and the biggest thing that you hear, I'm just like, I love this fruit. Like, this fruit is so good. And he's like, bro, this is nothing. He's like, the fruit here is trash. He's like, the fruit in Brazil is so much better. He's like, it's just untouched and everything. So it's so crazy because America is so different from a lot of places in the world. And it's like, take soccer, for instance. Like, these guys come here and they look like they could have been the star of my high school soccer team. I come from Chicago, and these guys are out here shooting a basketball like they don't know what they're doing, and that's just another natural thing to me. And so it's so cool to see the different world experiences. And, I mean, I wish I had the money to go travel the world. I'd go see all these guys' places, Like, that would be so awesome. But just to get a little bit of a taste of their culture it's so cool just to hear about all their different tastes. And, like, we've got a guy from Serbia, and to hear him talk about Nikola Jokic and stuff and how he's viewed over in their country and just stuff like that. It's super cool to be a part of this experience, and I really feel like I'm better for it for sure.
Okay, so let's talk about the men's volleyball year number 2. Ben, let me start with you on this go around of questions and just talk about I've got the roster right here in front of me. I'm just going to you pick out 2 or 3 guys that you're excited to watch put on a blue uniform, whether it be tonight or in the upcoming scrimmage. You get the Notre Dame club team, as well as that trip out to Arizona, as well as a really, really competitive Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference schedule. So pick out 3 guys, and I'll get some of the other guys' thoughts on this as well.
Okay, right off the bat, some guy that I'm really excited to see is our guy from Liechtenstein. That's Andy. His explosiveness is something that I've almost never seen, before. It's unbelievable how high he jumps, how hard he hits the ball. And a guy who's similar to that is Alphonse. And but Andy, he's so powerful, and his serve is unbelievable, and he's a great teammate. He is really, really a good teammate. I have nothing but good to say about him. I'm excited to see two of our new middles, Thiago Silva and Nico Apostolou. Nico is from Indianapolis, and Thiago is from Portugal. And Thiago is, like Andy, very explosive, very powerful, and Nico is just fun to watch. He enjoys playing the game so much, and we had a tournament down in Indianapolis and a tournament in Missouri, and I was on Nico's team for a couple of those. And to see the love and the passion that he had for the game and the passion that he had to be a good teammate was really exciting to see. So I'm excited to see the way these guys play, but also the way they carry themselves as teammates, for sure.
All right, there's the roster. Pass that down to Erik. And Erik, is there a couple guys that you're matching up in practice and that we're going to see in the scrimmage tonight, as well as some of those upcoming games that you're excited about watching play?
Let me start with first off Mac. Mac is from Las Vegas. Wonderful guy, great guy, coming in as a freshman setter, and I'd say he's very talented for his age. Wonderful, good hands. I can say that as a setter. He's at a point where I can see myself in him, my past self, where he's at a point where he's growing and growing, but he doesn't realize that he's growing because he's so caught up with getting better. But he grows and he is better and he has developed, and that's telling him that and showing him that is just, I'm excited to see how he's going to put that on the court, because we know that he's able to, and he's done a great job at getting better. And another guy I would probably pick is Andre from Portugal, our opposite, super tall guy, super long arms. I'm excited to see him because he has a personality on the court which can be really calm but also like really intense at the time. So he analyzes the vibe and adjusts, and I think that's what we definitely need, and I'm excited to see him hit some hard balls.
All right, Arthur, how about you? So some guys on that roster, maybe some new guys, or hey, maybe some guys that are coming back from last year that you're anticipating that were teammates last year that are becoming better teammates. Is there anybody else on that roster you excited about seeing their development?
Very excited to see Christopher, our new setter from Cyprus, transfer from
Missouri
Valley. Yep. And very excited to play with him. Great guy, great teammate. And Ege as well, taking a new role this year as a setter. He was our libero last year. I think he's grown a lot, and he's adapted very well to the culture and to America in general. And I'm just very excited about him. And Avery as well, freshman now, transfer as well from Campbellsville. Campbellsville. And very excited about these guys. These are just great teammates. It's just awesome to be around them.
You know, one of the things I've noticed a lot, and I look back just in the last decade of covering women's volleyball at the college level, is when you're blessed to see a student athlete be able to play through a whole rotation, and I know that's few and far between. I'll leave this open-ended question to everybody. Is there going to be a person, and I know, Erik, I would speculate that you're going to be that guy, that you never want to take him off the floor? So, guys, is there some guys on there that once you get them on the floor, are they going to be hard to rotate out? Anybody want to jump on that one?
Yeah, for sure. Marcos Henrique, Chicken as we call him. It's so funny watching these guys come in. Like Arthur and Chicken, for me, were some of the top volleyball players I'd ever seen in my life coming in last year. And then over the summer goes by after the season, and we come back in the fall. And it's like just when you think guys couldn't get better, they both came in better. And it was unbelievable. And so looking at Chicken and just the way that he plays, it's super fun to watch him play, and I think he's going to be one of the greatest players to come through Bethel for a long time.
Anybody else want to jump on that? Who else should we anticipate?
I'll probably go with Andre again. Just because he's the opposite that we were missing last year, and I think we're going to see the big difference. Having a big guy on that position is just very, very useful, because he's the one who's going to get the hard balls, the balls that need a lot of height, and I think with his physical and volleyball abilities, he's going to be able to play that role and help us out on that position.
Okay, coaching staff. Let's talk about the coaching staff. I know that David was with you guys last year. Jose's in is a new role. I know you guys are smiling when I mention his name. And then, of course, Coach Schneider. You guys would not be here if you didn't believe in what he's trying to do and what he's trying to create and the culture that he's trying to put together. And, Ben, let me start with you about coaching. I know that that's something that I think, matter of fact, I know all three of you guys, I think all three of you guys would be great coaches in your own right if you choose to go that as a career path. So let's start with you, Ben. Coaching.
Yeah, we're so blessed. Dave is amazing. The amount of behind-the-scenes stuff he does for us is unbelievable. We do adult open gyms here on Sunday nights, and the amount of work he puts into that in terms of getting the word out and just making it a good community here. Like, he's running around the whole time just trying to figure out, like, what we can do to make the experience better for them, getting people in, because that helps for some funding for our program. And then Jose is unbelievable, and he's just so fun to be around. And he is, like, as Erik said, us as captains are a bridge from the players to coach. But for us, we also still need a bridge, for sure. And Jose is a perfect bridge because he's on the younger side, so we can relate to him. And also, he played under coach for a long time, so he knows everything about how coach operates. And we don't have any seniors on our team, so the next best thing we have is Erik, and we've got Jose, and he knows how coach operates. He knows how we operate, and so he's amazing to have. And he's also very talented and will be competitive whenever he practices with us. And then Coach Schneider, I mean, there's the role that he took on and the effort that it takes to do a first-year program and the amount of work. He is working nonstop all the time. I'm here late with friends, and I'll just walk by, and he's still in his office doing work. His boards are full of information, and he's always just doing stuff for our program. He puts in so much work to make Goodman look the way it does. Like, that place was nothing like it looks now, even a year ago. And just the amount of work he puts into it and how much he truly loves the game and loves the team is really something to admire.
What do you think, guys?
I'll agree.
Yeah,
I'll agree.
Not a lot to add to that. That's a pretty yeah.
Well, one thing I can say, I don't know if you guys have that saying in the States that says you always meet twice in life. But that's what I can say with Jose. Like, we were at Campbellsville together. You know, he was my teammate, and came here, and now seeing him and having him here again is just a wonderful experience because you have things from the past that are with you now. And you know, he laughs about the things I laugh. He understands the things I understand about coach and the whole, you know, program and everything, what it means. And I think it's just an awesome experience to be around him and. You know, admire him as a experienced college player who's still, you know, not too far away from that route. He's like 1 or 2 years, you know, where he finished his career. I think I really look up to him, and we're blessed to have him with the rest of the coaching staff.
It's hard to create a rivalry when you've only been around 1 year. So, but the Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference, obviously there's some pretty good teams in that league. Indiana Tech obviously is a team that you can talk about. Lawrence Tech. You can go up and down the line. Cornerstone, another great program. Can you speak, Arthur? Let's start with you. Can you speak to establishing rivalries? Do you looking at the schedule that I have right here in front of me, and you say, "Man, oh man, I can't wait to so and so arrives here on this date for this match." Is there somebody on that schedule that you can look at and say, I got this one already written in my day timer?
I feel like last year we upset a lot of teams, and we didn't only establish one, but maybe 3 rivalries. Indiana Tech was one of them for sure, and it was fun to play against them.
Right.
They talk a lot. They are very emotional, but it's fun. I enjoyed it. I think these guys enjoyed it as well. So very excited about playing them. I think Goshen is a big one for sure. I have 2 friends there, Hassan and Ishmael. Great guys, but I mean, I want to win. So
Exactly.
yeah, very excited about them. And I think Lords. It was very fun to play against them. There's a lot of Brazilians there. So I have friends, but still, again, I want to win.
Erik, how about you? Is there a team on that roster that you're pretty stoked about watching and competing against?
I'll probably stick with what Arthur said, especially for Indiana Tech. I think, yeah, this is the team that, you know, always in the end gets the job done and wins the conference for I don't know, a couple of years though. That's what I know for sure. So yeah, upsetting them is definitely something we can do, and I'm excited about. And we have the ability, we have the talent, we developed the culture. So those things are definitely possible. And maybe Lawrence Tech, I would say, because we gave up 2 5 sets on them, 2 5-setter games that we gave up, and those are games that we own, and we got to take them back this year. So
all right, Ben, how about you?
I would have to agree with both these guys. I think for sure Goshen's going to be a big one because a lot of people in the past have probably viewed them as a bit of a lesser team, but they've been doing some good recruiting these past couple of years, picking up those 2 guys that Arthur was talking about. So you really can't sleep on anyone in this league, and that's what's so fun about it. So I'd have to agree Goshen for sure. I really, really enjoy winning, but beating Indiana Tech would be awesome. And for me, Siena Heights, they talk a little bit, and it's always fun to beat the ones that talk, because I wouldn't say we're a talking team, really. I think we keep a lot on our side of the net, unless, of course, we're playing Cornerstone and Arthur's got his best friend on the other side of the net. Then we talk a little bit. But that's all in good fun, and we love seeing Cornerstone come to town. We enjoy talking to them and stuff. That's just a fun – I wouldn't even call that a rivalry. That's just a fun game to play because we're both good Christian schools that have the same goals and stuff. But, yeah, Siena Heights is one for me that I love to see go down.
All right, a couple final questions. Number one, Erik's tried to create a spiritual dynamic here that is going to help you guys grow spiritually. Does anybody want to tackle the question of the growth from a spiritual standpoint from last year to this year? Are you growing in leaps and bounds, guys?
I think a lot more. Yeah.
You got it.
I think a lot more people are on the same page. I think they see why they're here. Like, there's a couple people last year who come here and they look at the school and they get a little bit frustrated with the rules and regulations, but it's like there's other schools, and this is the rules that this school has in place, and I think a lot more people on the team can run with that, and they're okay with that, and they can follow those, and so that's really good to see. And it's just, that's a constant growth process that will never be perfected, so you just got to keep on going.
Last year, the Pilots won 10 matches. Arthur, what do the Pilots have to do to, let's say, win 15 or maybe 20 matches? What do the Pilots have to do this year to, let's say, double that?
I think just sticking to our culture, which is help each other out, trusting the guy next to you. We have a very, like Coach was talking about, like our team is deep now. We have a very deep squad that guys are able to come from the bench and stay and keep the same level in the core. So I think just help each other out in the core and trusting each other,
How about you, Erik? What do the Pilots have to do to win 15, 20 matches this year?
I agree with what Arthur said. Definitely, helping each other out. But it also comes down when you want to go specifically into athletics. Staying healthy is going to be a big part of not getting injured. So always being available and taking care of our bodies. And another thing that always our coach mentions to us, and that's something great that we sometimes even forget, is getting along with each other and still sticking to the culture, which is part of it, getting along with each other and establishing a good camaraderie, but also a good team where we can always get along and, win games.
Ben, you got the final say-so.
I'd say when it all comes down to it, it's being together. I think we have the talent for sure, and if we can bring this group together and just be a family and be united and not be afraid to, call people out and have that vulnerability, I think that's the key. Being together, being united.
I know I can't promise you that one thing. I can't promise you that the next time we get together, my beard will be a little bit longer. We're going with the ZZ Top look this year, so I hope you guys can appreciate that when it comes around. It's been awesome to hang out with you guys, to see the smiles on your faces, see your teammates just kind of hanging out. Looking forward to going over to the Goodman. Did a lot of games at Goodman back in the old days, and it's going to be neat to get back in there to see you and your teammates play. So let's hope you have a great year, and let's put that 20 on the board, because I think 20 wins this year. I think that's a great recipe to get everybody in this geographical community to get fired up about Bethel volleyball.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Once again, thanks again to Erik and Ben, of course, you heard Ben on Regional Radio Sports. He provided some great color commentary for soccer and for Arthur. Special thanks again to everyone here at Bethel University. It's always a pleasure to be here with our student athletes on the campus of Mishawaka. Thanks again to Luke Schrock and Tanner Camp for the great help here today on Media Day. And once again, don't forget Bethel men's volleyball all season long right here on Regional Radio Sports and the Bethel Sports Network. I'm Paul Condry. God bless you all.